What if the reason you feel stuck is not because you need another goal, another habit, or another strategy? What if your life is simply too crowded for clarity to survive? We are constantly encouraged to add more plans, more commitments, more information, more ways to improve ourselves. But sometimes growth does not begin with addition. Sometimes growth begins with removal. Welcome back to 5 Minutes Forward, 5 minute mindset shifts for a better life. I'm your host, Quincy Hampton. We often assume that a life full is automatically a meaningful one. So we fill every open space. We say yes to obligations we do not have the energy to carry. We keep goals that no longer reflect who we are. We consume information from the moment we wake up until the moment we fall asleep. And then we wonder why we feel scattered, why we struggle to focus, why even simple decisions feel heavy, why the things we claim matter most keep receiving what is left of us. The problem is not always laziness. Sometimes there are simply too many things competing for the same mind and the same energy and the same limited hours. You can be deeply committed and still be overwhelmed. Last week, we talked about devotion and staying loyal to what matters, but loyalty requires space. You cannot give your best attention to everything, and when everything is treated as important, nothing truly is. I've caught myself doing this. When life feels uncertain, my instinct is to often add something, a new plan, a new goal, a new system that is supposed to organize all the other systems. It feels productive because adding something gives the illusion that you are taking control. But sometimes the new plan is not the solution. Sometimes it is simply another layer of noise placed on top of a problem that simply needed space. There are moments when the most courageous thing you can do is admit that something no longer belongs in your life. Not because it was always wrong, but because it has finished serving its purpose. The mind has limits. Every decision requires attention. Every unfinished task occupies mental space. Every notification asks the brain to leave one place and move somewhere else. And even when the interruption lasts only a moment, part of your attention can remain attached to what you just left behind. That is why constant switching can make a full day feel strangely unproductive. You are active, but you are rarely fully present. Too many options can create the same problem. We assume more choices will make us feel free, but more choices can also create hesitation, second guessing, the fear that another option might have been better. Simplicity reduces that friction. It gives the mind fewer places to go, so it can go deeper into the places that remain. This is not about making your life small. This is about making your attention intentional. Simplicity is often misunderstood. It can sound like deprivation, like lowering your ambition, like refusing opportunities or living without excitement. But simplicity is not an empty life. It's a life where what matters has room to breathe. It is choosing depth over constant expansion. It is deciding that every invitation does not deserve a yes. Every opinion does not deserve your attention. And every goal does not deserve another year of your life. Simplicity asks a powerful question. What is this costing me to keep? Not just financially. What is it costing you emotionally, mentally? What is it costing the future you say you want? Because some things remain in our lives, not because they are valuable, but because we have been accustomed to carrying them. Picture a path covered by fallen branches. The destination has not disappeared. The direction may still be right. The path is crowded, and every step requires more effort than it should. Sometimes you have to stop and clear the path. That is what simplicity does. It removes what prevents movement. It creates room for focus, room for rest, room for deeper work, room for conversations that are not rushed, and sometimes room to hear yourself again. Here's your 5-minute forward challenge for this week. Choose one thing to remove, not 10 things, just one. It could be unnecessary commitment, one distracting notification, one reoccurring source of mental clutter, one goal you are pursuing only because you are afraid to let it go. Then ask yourself, what becomes possible when this is no longer taking up space? Do not immediately fill the opening. Let the space exist, because the purpose of clearing it is not to create room for more noise, it's to create room for what matters. You do not need a bigger life. You may need a clearer one. A life where your attention is not divided into pieces so small that nothing receives the whole of you. A life where your commitment reflects your values instead of your fear of disappointing people. A life where progress is measured not only by what you gain, but also by what you finally have the courage to release. Simplicity is not about having nothing. It is about knowing what is enough and protecting what deserves to remain. That is the clearing, not the absence of life, but the creation of space for your real life to begin. Next week on 5 Minutes Forward, we'll talk about alignment and why you can work hard, reach the destination, and still discover that you climbed the wrong mountain. Keep moving forward.